Hello, I'm Antonio Mora. This is the newsandnews.com Day in Brief. Today's top stories in 4 minutes. It's Tuesday, October 2nd at about 7 p.m. The blockbuster of the day, and I don't use that term lightly, is a New York Times investigation into the origins of the Trump fortune. Not just Donald Trump's, but his father Fred's. Most important, politically, is that it completely and utterly debunks President Trump's claims that he is a self-made billionaire and that all he got from his father was $1 million loan. Assuming the Times got even a quarter of its facts right, it's highly unlikely Trump would be a billionaire today without enormous infusions of cash and loans from his dad. To quote the Times, what emerges from this body of evidence is a financial biography of the 45th president, fundamentally at odds with the story Mr. Trump has sold in his books, his TV shows, and his political life. Will the bursting of the bubble of the Trump self-made myth matter to his base? Probably not, given the litany of falsehoods and exaggerations they've already accepted. More important and concerning to Trump are the many allegations of illegal dealings. The Times investigation is one of the most exhaustive I have ever seen. It is almost mind-numbing in its length and detail. It clearly concludes that the Trump family crossed the line between legal tax avoidance and illegal tax evasion, determining that the Trumps committed fraud, avoided tens of millions in gift taxes and estate taxes, dodged other taxes, used sham corporations, illegally undervalued properties, and the list goes on and on. If I had been the Times editor, I would have avoided some of the more inflammatory language used and also couched its conclusions. There wasn't much need to gild the lily because the facts on their own tell a powerful and damning story. No need to give ammunition to Trump defenders who will challenge conclusions, arguing that the IRS didn't find anything wrong and that the Trumps just exploited legal loopholes. Trump has yet to react himself, but one of his lawyers said, quote, "The New York Times allegations of fraud and tax evasion are 100% false and highly defamatory. There was no fraud or tax evasion by anyone." He went on to say other Trump family members did all of it and relied on licensed professionals. Pushing all of it onto other family members is feeble at best because many of the allegations involve President Trump's own companies. In our alternate universes segment, the great divide between conservative and liberal media, it is early, but the Times investigation is getting the superficial and biased treatment you'd expect from the cable news networks. Neil Cavuto on Fox News described the Times piece as creative accounting passed on by the IRS, further saying, "I don't know if there's a there outside of the president having a rich father and marketing skill." On CNN, a pro-Trump pundit said, "Some of this is estate planning." CNN surprisingly had two pro-Trump pundits on the same panel, and the other one said, "Republicans are going to react by thinking, this is the same newspaper that told us about Nikki Haley's curtains that turned out to be a complete fabrication." I won't tell you what my logic teacher would have said about that argument. But the anti-Trump pundits fared no better. One accepted it as the gospel, saying it was, quote, "something else to add to the catechism of lies Trump has told." Another anti-Trump pundit concluded, unconditionally, that Trump engaged in criminal activity and fraud to hide his wealth. Mind you, other than Cavuto, none of them had read much of the article. In other news, also as expected, the Democrats' focus in the Kavanaugh confirmation battle now seems to be on whether Kavanaugh lied in the hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee by downplaying his drunkenness and denying he was ever aggressive. But again, this is going to fall into the territory of conflicting statements, with one classmate describing Kavanaugh as belligerent and an aggressive drunk who threw a beer in a man's face, starting a fight that ended with a friend in jail. Other classmates disagree. In the end, I suspect we will be where we began. It will all depend on 5 senators and what they decide to do. Republicans Flake, Collins, and Murkowski, and Democratic Senators Heitkamp and Manchin. Also today, some apparent progress in the talks with North Korea. Secretary of State Pompeo will meet with Kim Jong-un on Sunday. In a letter to Trump, Kim said he is determined to denuclearize the Korean peninsula. And North Korea said a declaration ending the Korean War is not a bargaining chip, but it suggested that lifting sanctions might be. You can find all those stories and much more updated around the clock 7 days a week on newsandnews.com, where you will find all you need to know in one place. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the right of your screen just below this video. Please follow us on Facebook at Real News and News, and follow me on Twitter at AMoraTV. I will see you again tomorrow.